There was jubilation after the ruling where the ANC National Executive Committee members were gathering. Now the big challenge is how the ruling will be enforced.
In our view, our prayers were responded to by the court, and the court has granted us what we had requested. So we have achieved that. And the commentators that across the globe, there is consensus, even by international relations experts, by diplomats, by all commentators in the globe, there is consensus that indeed this amount to what South Africa had requested for the state of Israel to cease fire. The only ones who are interpreting the verdict differently for the sake of propaganda is the state of Israel. They have always been running the war in a form of propaganda until South Africa submitted the papers, and the world has viewed this differently. So they have not changed. They are still running it, responding in a propagandist way, instead of dealing with the facts and the true factual outcomes of the case, which is what we call for them to do, and to respond and comply with the court judgment.
The issue will dominate the discussions in the United Nations Security Council as the countries grapple with a way forward. The ruling is continuing to draw mixed reactions.
It's important to make a distinction between the general allegations of breaches of international law, unfounded as they are, that we have just heard, and the specific allegation of genocide, which is grotesque, especially the day after International Holocaust Memorial Day that was marked by right-thinking individuals all around the world yesterday. South Africa is seeking to shoehorn this case into genocide specifically is because of a technicality, because it seeks to use the hook of the Genocide Convention, which Israel is a party to. And you mentioned earlier Netanyahu's comments about Israel, of course, abiding by international law. Those are not new. Israel has always been clear about it prizing above all its international law obligations. That is why it is going even beyond what international humanitarian law requires with respect to its conduct of the armed conflict in Gaza. Wow. But Netanyahu was clear in this respect that Israel has consistently been complying with its international law obligations, and that the Jews in Israel have a unique understanding of what genocide is. Let us not forget that this term was coined by Raphael Lemkin, also a Jew, in the aftermath of the Holocaust to be able to provide a terminology for the targeting of Jews because they are Jews.
The judgment is a victory not just for South Africa, for Palestinians, for Israelis, and for all human beings who love peace, who believe in shared humanity, and who respect international law. One of the observations by the ICJ was that Israel has for many years been ignoring resolutions of the United Nations. It was a good thing that finally there is accountability. And it's not true that there was no provisional findings. There were provisional findings as a basis for providing the remedial, the provisional directives that the court provided. And for me, it's sad really that politics are being used to interpret a judgment. My request to anybody who's listening to this is please read the judgment. It's very simple. South Africa won on every allegation it made. When it came to the remedial action, the court could not order the court could not order ceasefire because Hamas is not a country or a government within a country. And lastly, stop using the idea that just because genocide was coined when Jews were victims of the Holocaust, together with 6 million other non-Jews, Jews are capable of committing genocide.
All right.
In fact, it's been proven that people who have been the subject of cruelty are more likely to be cruel.
The UN Chief Antonio Guterres is expected to make an announcement on the way forward. The IDF is continuing with its operations in Gaza. More people have been killed. Sophie Mkwena, SABC News, Johannesburg.